Welcome to another live stream of Roll Up a Pour Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright? Tap in. Tap the fuck in. What we here on today, Mr. Roll Up. Hey, look, man. We gonna talk about the end of game banging. You know what I'm saying? Tap in. Tap the fuck in. Why you on that, Mr. Roll Up? What you mean? The end of game banging. Niggas out here game banging all day, every day. Nah. That's that watered down shit. You know what I'm saying? Tap in, tap the fuck in. I'm gonna tell y'all about the real game banger and how everything started all the way up until its demise. You know what I'm saying? Tap in, tap the fuck in. Where's all this coming from, Mr. Roll Up? I'm just tired of seeing all of this goofy ass shit all on the internet every day about how innocent people is getting killed due to gang violence. You know what I'm saying? Tap in, tap the fuck in. So now I'm here to make a diss track to all of these fake ass gangbangers out here. You know what I'm saying? Tap in, tap the fuck in. Yeah, I'm about to hurt some feelings today, but we gonna keep it real over here. Y'all know we gangster around this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Tap in, tap the fuck in, man. And a lot of this shit is due to the way how the community was tore down. You know what I'm saying? Tap in, tap the fuck in. All right, let's get it. Y'all know me. I start everything from the top. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and jump in that time capsule. Let's go back. We're gonna start it all the way from the top. I was gonna go to the 90s during my era, but we're gonna start all the way from the top. And then we're gonna go to my era. You know what I'm saying? So let's take this time capsule all the way back to the late 50s, early 60s. Started. Now, with that being said, back then, gangbanging was nothing like what it is today. You know what I'm saying? This shit that's going on today is not real gangbanging. Now, back then, the way how gangbanging started, it was all about protecting the community. You know what I'm saying? Basically, how can I put it? The way how gangbanging came apart was because the community wasn't living right. Things was fucked up in the community. Meaning everybody was poor, didn't nobody had no money. The shit was structured this way. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we grew up in poverty type shit. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what happened was the men in the community decided to come together, and with them coming together, what they plan was that we're gonna build the community back up. We're gonna put money back in our pockets. We're gonna um, make the community happy again because everybody's sad because it's bad for us type shit. That's what gangbanging started. That's how it started. It was basically um, the brothers building up the community type thing. So back then, it wasn't no gangbanging to fight each other. It was about bringing the community back. You know what I'm saying? At the time, a lot of people was losing their jobs, losing their homes. You know what I'm saying? Getting their kids took from them, etc., etc. So this is how gangbanging came about. It was just all about brothers coming together to build the community back up. Prime example, the Black Panthers. They whole niche was Black Power, bringing back the community. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. They wasn't with all of the gang banging and all of that shit. They was strictly about bringing our community back. That's where gang banging started at. You know what I'm saying? With the whole Black Panther movement. And the whole Black Panther movement wasn't even about gang banging. You know what I'm saying? Lola, the little weirdo. Good morning. What's the deal? Tap in. Tap the fuck in. All right. Nah, like I said, the whole Black Panther movement was all about bringing the community back. Barkley 2618. Good morning. Tap in. Tap the fuck in. All right. Nah, like I was saying with the community, right? The Black Panther movement was to bring back the community. After that came and went, Barkley, I said, what up? You know what I'm saying? I said, good morning. Tap in. Tap the fuck in. All right. Nah, like I said, with that whole movement was to bring back the community, right? That's where it all started. Next thing you know, it started becoming a trend all around the country. Next thing you know, the Bloods and the Crips started. You know what I'm saying? The Bloods and the Crips. How did that start? It started with the Crips. The Crips was first to hit the scene. Tukey Williams and his crew, basically, how they started was they was out here bullying people, beating up motherfuckers, letting people know that they wasn't for no games. And the way how they represented themselves, they wore blue flags. That's how that shit started. You know what I'm saying? How did the Bloods start? The Bloods was people against the Crips. It was against people, the Crips running around beating up people and shit like that. They was against. They was tired of that going on in their community. This is when gangbanging started breaking down little by little. You know what I'm saying? It started with the Black Panthers, and then it just started breaking down from there, right? So with that being said, the Bloods, they was against the Crips, of course, and they didn't start out the gangbang. They just started out to basically, what can you say, put a leash around the Crips. You know what I'm saying? Stop the Crips from doing what they was doing. But again, like I said, it's breaking down as time go on, and the the Bloods turned into a gang. They was wearing red to show that they was against the Crips. So basically, whenever the Crips would come around, the Bloods had a red flags to show them, hey, we against y'all, type shit. Not like we want to kill y'all, none of that. We just against y'all. You know what I'm saying? That shit turned into some gang banging shit. But mind you, gang banging started off of bringing the community back, but it started dwindling down as time went on. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the GDs. We're gonna take it to Chicago. We left LA, now we're gonna go to Chicago, right? You got the GDs, the Vice Lords, you know what I'm saying, the Counts, the Serenos, blah 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 blah, right? Now I can't speak on the Vicky Lou's and the things under the five because I'm not under the five, I'm under the six. So I just speak on the six. You know what I'm saying? Um, the six is about growth and development. That was Larry Hoover and King David Barksdale. That was their thing. You know what I'm saying? When they started it, it was all about bringing the community back. All of this was around the same time. I'm just breaking down different little sets of how things was going. You know what I'm saying? All of this shit was around the same time. The Bloods, the Crips, the Vice Lords, the GDs, the Black Panthers, all of this was around the same time. It was just all a breakdown as time went on. You know what I'm saying? Joe Sargent, what's the deal? Tap in. Tap the fuck in. This real gang banging music right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all some real shit because I really came from this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of these trap lord Rosses that talk real fast and can box something up in 60 seconds. I gotta break this shit down. You know what I'm saying? So y'all understand where this shit came from. You know what I'm saying? All right. Nah, like I said, with the GDs and the vice lords, things like that, it was growth and development, meaning bringing up the community, which means all the brothers that's in the hood, that's all together. We all come together. We all put our resources, we put our money together, and we protect our community. We make it safe for our community to want to come outside and have fun and do the things that they want to do. That's what growth and development was about. We made the community safe. And with that being said, um, our neighbors, our neighbors loved us. You know what I'm saying? Because they knew that we wouldn't do nothing to harm them. That's what growth and development was. We made it safe for our community. This was way before gangbanging. This is what gangbanging started from. It was all about saving the community. You know what I'm saying? Nah, we got that understood, right? Now let's move on. So now let's go ahead, jump in the time capsule. Now we gonna go a little forward in time. We leave in the 50s and 60s era when everything first started, and that's how everything came about. Now let's go into the late 70s, early 80s. We're gonna go into that time zone, right? With that being said, we done had about, what can you say, a good 20-year run of the brothers coming together and bringing back the community, right? Guess what? The system didn't like that. Yeah, the system. They didn't like that. You know why? Because the system designed this shit this way for the black people to remain in poverty, for the black people to remain in the hood, for the black people to remain in the projects. This is how this shit was structured. It was structured for us to stay broke, to stay mad at each other, stay killing each other. It was all structured for us to kill ourselves. You know what I'm saying? This is why gangbanging came about, because the people in our community understood what the system was doing to us. This is how gangbanging started. But it wasn't gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? It was about growth and development and bringing the community back together. But it turned into gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? So again, here we is, late 70s, early 80s. The system don't like the way how black people come back together. We making it safe for each other. Everybody happy. We get money. The Black Wall Street going on. Blah 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 blah. Black people is on the rise, right? System don't like this shit. So what happened? The system threw a monkey wrench in the hood, all across America. You know what I'm saying? What's the monkey wrench, Mr. Roll Up? The monkey wrench was drugs, crack, cocaine, heroin. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. But that type of shit, somebody riding a loud ass motorcycle. You know what I'm saying? So I just tried to give it a second. But anyway, with that being said, right? So they throw the monkey wrench in the game, which is the drugs. They knew that the drugs will break us apart. And that's exactly what happened. So the drugs hit the streets. What happened? All of the gangbangers that was saving the community, they started selling that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, the gangbangers in the hood, they didn't have no money. They basically was just trying to tell other people in the hood, hey, we gotta get up out this rut that we in. You know what I'm saying? Let's wake up out this shit. This is what they doing to us. You know what I'm saying? So niggas in the hood didn't have no money. They just had the mind frame. You know what I'm saying? The mind frame is way stronger than a dollar. You feel me? And this is exactly why the system threw that monkey wrench in there, because they seen that the mind frame was a little too powerful. So they came with the drugs to fuck us up. That's exactly what happened. So with the gangbangers in the hood, they seeing the drugs floating around the hood. They like, man, fuck that. I need some money. You know what I'm saying? So they pick up the drugs, they start selling it to people. People get hooked on the drugs. People want to try it. They want to see what it's about, right? What is crack? What is cocaine? What is heroin? What is that shit? You know what I'm saying? So you got people trying it. People trying it, they getting hooked on it, they getting fucked up, they keep coming back for it. You know what I'm saying? They going through withdrawals, they stealing shit for it, they killing people for it. Drugs was like the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? At that time, it was either one or two things. It was either you was doing the drugs or you was selling the drugs. You know what I'm saying? This was the demise of gangbanging. Again, even though back then it wasn't called gangbanging, but that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? This was the demise of the drugs. When the drugs hit the streets. You know what I'm saying? So you got half of the people selling this shit, you got half of the people doing this shit, right? So with that being said, what's going on? People don't got no money. They need them drugs. So what they doing? They robbing, killing, and stealing from each other to get these drugs. You know what I'm saying? To tear down other communities. When the gangbangers was bringing the community up with a mind frame. Hey, the system trying to take us down, but we gotta be stronger than that. So let's blow past this. That was the mind frame before the drugs. But when the drugs stepped in, it was like, oh man, fuck that. Get it how you live. Every man for himself. You know what I'm saying? Man, when that happened, people houses getting broken into, their cars getting stolen, people getting robbed, people getting killed, getting jacked for everything they got, all for these people to go spend their money on drugs with the drug dealers, the gangbangers. You know what I'm saying? It was all set up from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's all a part of the system, man. This was all a part of the plan from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, now you got the 80s rolling in. Everybody on drugs. I told y'all about my hood, my old hood I came from, West Warren. Um, my mother and my father grew up on the same block. My mother's family grew up on the same block. My father's family grew up on the same block. We all lived on the same block. And the block was literally a half mile. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was a mile down, 2, 3 miles down. It's a half mile from Tireman to Warren on Northfield. That's a half mile. You know what I'm saying? The thing about that neighborhood, it's a very small neighborhood, but the house is real big. Like the house is so damn big that they two family flats. So it's kind of like two houses in one. You know what I'm saying? So you will literally have 10 people that live upstairs, and then you had 10 people that live downstairs. So it'd be 20 people in every house on the block. So even though it was a very small neighborhood, it was a whole lot of us in this fucking neighborhood because of how big the houses was and how everybody structured it. Like, hey, we all gonna stay together. You know what I'm saying? Because don't nobody got no money. So everybody was living together. We was like on some Mexican type shit. Like how the Mexicans stick together, that's how we was back then. You know what I'm saying? So in this little ass hood, it was still a million of us. You know what I'm saying? And we all family, we all together type shit. But like I said, with the drugs set in, it started exposing a lot of the family. A lot of people got hooked on them drugs. And they got hooked on the drugs by the same people that was selling it to them, which was the gangbangers of the hood. Shit get deep, man. You know what I'm saying? So the way how the system did all of this, they set us up for us to destroy each other without them having to step in and didn't have to do nothing, didn't have to say nothing. They just let us destroy ourselves with these drugs. And that's exactly what happened. So in that time frame, everybody losing their mind. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the women couldn't pay their bills. They couldn't take care of their kids. So what the gangbangers started doing? They started moving in these women houses and started selling drugs out of these women houses. You know what I'm saying? Nah, when that happened, the women had three choices. They can do the drugs, um, they can sell the drugs, or they can just keep their mouth closed and get their bills paid by the drug dealers. Some of them stuck to the code. They was just letting the drug dealers sell drugs out their house and pay their bills. Some of them tried a drug or two, got hooked on this shit, became crackheads. And then some of them decided to say, hey, y'all niggas selling drugs out my house, I might as well sell a couple drugs too. And then that's how the women started becoming drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? Drugs tore the whole fucking community apart. You know what I'm saying? Drugs killed everything. But anyway, moving forward, that's how all that happened, right? Now y'all got that, right? All right, now this my time frame. This when I come about. This when I'm born. I was born in '89, so I was born at the end of the '80s when all of the crack shit came through and all of that. That's when I came about. Luckily, my mother was a goody two shoe that didn't do no drugs, and my daddy was a fucking drug dealer. So I didn't grow up as no crack baby. You know what I'm saying? Like how they say a lot of people from the '80s is crack babies and shit like that. Luckily, I'm not one. You know what I'm saying? My daddy was a dealer, not a user. You feel me? But I will say this: my uncle was a user. My daddy's brother. You know what I'm saying? The man that stood right next to my daddy, he was a user. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. It kind of like skipped people. Like every two people, at least one of them was a junkie type shit. And back then, a lot of them junkies, they was functioning. They was functioning junkies, meaning they had a home, they had a car, they had a job, all type of shit. You wouldn't even know that they was junkies until they pulled up on the block to get their drugs. You know what I'm saying? All right. Nah, with all that being said, now, like I said, this is my time. This is when I'm being born, right? So now let's fast forward a little bit. Let's step into the mid 90s, right? 94, 95. Damn. I was born in 89, but here it is, 94, 95. Now I'm about 5, 6 years old at this time, right? My daddy wanted me to be a gangster, just like him. I done spoke on this plenty of times, but for this live right here, this is about the death of gangbang. You know what I'm saying? So let me explain this shit to you. Let me give y'all where I'm coming at with this. You know what I'm saying? 94, 95. I'm 5 years old. My daddy put me on the block with all of his gang banging homies. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the block with all of his homies while he go to work. By this time, my daddy stopped dealing drugs. He got a good job. He wanted to be a family man, all of that shit, right? But he was still a street nigga. You know what I'm saying? So when he'd go to work, he'd drop me off in the hood on West Warren. You know what I'm saying? Now, by this time, we moved off of West Warren. We stay on 7 Mile, right? But every day when my mama and daddy go to work, I get dropped off on West Warren. So I would spend the whole day on West Warren, right? From about 8 a.m. to about 5 p.m. every day, I was on West Warren. You know what I'm saying? From the time I was 5 years old to maybe about 19 years old. So I spent about a good 5 years, you know what I'm saying, on West Warren as a child. You know what I'm saying? So I've been seeing all of the gang banging, all the drug dealing. I've been seeing all of that shit. Now my auntie Cynthia, I've recently made a video about her a couple videos ago. So if y'all want to know what I'm getting at, where I'm about to come with y'all. That what I'm about to say, what I got coming up, saying, if y'all further want to understand where I'm coming from, what I got to say, just go back to my video I made about my auntie Cynthia. The video was titled "We went to the funeral to pay our respects, and my cousin got locked up for a murder right after the damn funeral. Like as soon as we walked out of the funeral home, my cousin went to jail. The Detroit police was out there waiting on him and took his ass to jail for a murder warrant. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Real hood shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, uh, we're gonna talk about my auntie now. You know what I'm saying? Her. She dead and gone. Y'all know I don't lie on the dead. You know what I'm saying? So ain't none of this shit made up. This ain't for no views, likes, clicks, or none of that goofy shit. This is real life shit. And I'm really trying to break this shit down and basically make all the young gangbangers understand where I'm coming from. And to all the other people that's tuned in and y'all like this type of content, listen up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm dropping some real gems about this gangbanging shit, right? All right. So, like I was saying, my auntie, right? My auntie Cynthia, she was a product of the hood. Meaning, when the drugs rolled in, guess what the gangbangers did? They started putting the drugs in her house. And like I said, back then, at that time, women had three choices. They can either use the drugs, they can sell the drugs, or they can keep their mouth closed and get their bills paid. Well, my auntie Cynthia, she was one of the ones that said, hey, I'm about to sell the drugs with y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? I got them in my house. The junkies coming in and out this motherfucker. They asking me for the drugs when you niggas ain't around. Whoopty woo, whoopty woo. So guess what? She started selling the drugs as well. So the junkies is coming to her house because they know that the drugs is in her house. Even though the gangbangers is the ones that's selling the drugs, but it's coming from her house. So the junkies coming over every day, all day. It's been times, mind you, I'm 5, 6 years old. I'm over there, just got dropped off, 8 a.m. I go in the house, everybody sleep, right? I call myself going in there to lay on the couch, give me like a little hour nap, because I know how the day about to go. All the gangbangers about to come out, and it's about to be a hell of a day. You know what I'm saying? So I try and give me a little quick nap in. I lay on the couch. What happened? Boom, 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 boom. Motherfuckers banging on the window. I look out the window. There's junkies out there. They there for their drugs. Gangbangers, they sleep. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the gangbangers hang out all night. So 8 a.m., gangbangers are asleep. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers banging on the door. Boo, 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 boo. I go wake my auntie up. Hey, auntie, some guys at the door. Mind you, I'm 5, 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? She come to the door. It's damn junkies. They scratching, all of that shit. They need their work. My auntie got tired of it. She started selling this shit for the damn gangbangers. Because the gangbangers sleep when these damn junkies come around. She started selling this shit, right? Next thing you know, she the dope dealer of the hood. She took over. Because it's her crib. You know what I'm saying? So the drug dealers, they didn't have no choice but to let her deal as well. Because they dealing out of her home. And on top of it, these damn gangbangers, they can't even get up and serve their own customers. So they didn't have a choice but to put my auntie in the game type shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, with that being said, she took all the way the fuck off and became the biggest drug dealer of the hood. So not only that, I'm around all the gangbangers all day, every day. Now my auntie dealing drugs. You know what I'm saying? And she big time with this shit. All of the junkies come to her crib all day, every day. Right? So now that she in the game and she big with this shit, what start happening after that? Now her house is a target because everybody know all of the dope, guns, gangbangers, everybody is in this house. So now her house is a target. So guess what? The gangbangers, they kind of fell back on the drugs. They let her move the drugs. They protecting the home. So at any given time, there's 20, 30 niggas surrounding this house all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? This was gang banging. They let her sell the drugs while they protected the brand. You know what I'm saying? See, back then, gang banging wasn't about being selfish. It was all about community growth. If somebody had the upper hand, then everybody else will let that person go ahead and lead while everybody else will follow. See, nowadays, everybody want to be leaders and they don't know how to be leaders. So everybody clashing heads. You know what I'm saying? But back then, people knew how, what can you say, too many chiefs and not enough Indians. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that everybody want to be a boss. Don't nobody want to go ahead and take the steps to get to where you need to get to. But back then, with gang banging, back then, that was the real gang banging. They understood that Cynthia was the chief. So they let her have that title while they watched her. You know what I'm saying? And this is the type of shit that I seen every single day. You know what I'm saying? Not sometimes, not here and there. Every day that I go to West Warren, this was my everyday lifestyle. It started getting to a point where when my daddy would drop me off at 8 o'clock in the morning, and the damn gangbangers already be out there. They was working shifts to watch this house. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so much shit going on out this motherfucker. Well, now y'all got all that, right? Okay. I broke down everything too. Now let me go into what gangbanging was. So y'all get how gangbanging started, how the drugs came in, how it took over shit, and how gangbangers started falling back and letting the real drug dealers handle the drugs, right? This was all gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, right, you had the ops, right? Now we're gonna talk about the ops of this shit. We still in the mid 90s. I'm still a kid in all of this, right? We still there, right? Now you got the ops, right? The ops is mad because Wes Warren is getting money now. You know what I'm saying? Now let me say this about Wes Warren. Wes Warren, the hood of Wes Warren, right? Wes Warren is a very small neighborhood. Meaning Wes Warren stretched a long way, but the hood of it is very small. The hood of Wes Warren is off of Wes Warren and Livernois. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like if you go back west of Livernois, you got Wyoming. Wyoming is the next mile after Livernois. When you, by the time you get to Wyoming and you keep going back further west, that's all Dearborn. That's where all of the Arabs be at and all of that shit. That's not the hood. The only hood of Wes Warren is off of Livernois, right? That's the real hood of Wes Warren. Now you got two sides of Wes Warren off of this little bitty ass neighborhood. You got this side of Livernois and you got that side of Livernois, right? Me and my family, we was from the other side of Livernois. We was from the side of Livernois going back east. So on the side that we was on, you had the number streets, you had McGraw Ave, you had Vinewood, and then it was leading into East Warren. That was the side that I was on. The other side of Livernois going back west. That's West Warren too. But we really wasn't like that with them. They was like their own side. Now that side of West Warren was a little bigger than our side. Our side, we only had 4 blocks. On our side of West Warren, we only had 4 blocks. We had Hazlet, Vancourt, Northfield, and damn, who was the other street? Hazlet, Vancourt, Northfield. It was another street. Damn, that's crazy. I can't even remember, man. That's the poet. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, shit. Let me pull up again. Shit. You know what I'm saying? It'll come to me. But we only had 4 blocks on our side. You know what I'm saying? But I told you, it'll be like 30 of us in a fucking house. Real talk. So, any given time, it was always a good 300-400 of us in the hood all the time. Now, with that being said, right, we was our own thing, and a lot of people didn't like that because we didn't like join forces with other neighborhoods. This is real gang banging. You know what I'm saying? We didn't join forces with other neighborhoods. We stayed to ourselves. We was all one family. You know what I'm saying? And we GDs, big GDs. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Um, with that being said, we were surrounded by Joy Road, Southwest, and the number streets. Right? Out of all of them, the only people that really fucked with us, and this, we West Warren, right? West Warren sitting right in the middle of this shit. You got number streets over here, you got Southwest over here, you got Joy Road over there. So we surrounded by all of these neighborhoods, right? The only neighborhood we was really like cool with was the number streets. And that's because they sit off of West Warren. But they don't claim West Warren. They claim the number streets. But anyway, with that being said, right? Shit. That one hit right there. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know this shit about to get real. That little shit hit. Nah. All of these rival hoods surrounding our neighborhood. So basically, when the gang bangers would be on the block and everything, watching the trap houses and shit like that, because my auntie house wasn't the only trap house in the hood. I'm just using her house for an example. So when the ops come riding down the block, they see they rivals, which is West Warren. Mind you, I'm a little shorty. I'm on the block. I'm seeing them coming down the street. You know what I'm saying? When you would see them come down the street, they be hanging out the window, nodding and shit like that, pointing at niggas. Things like that. Letting it be known, like, yeah, we up on y'all. We got y'all. We gonna holler at y'all. You know what I'm saying? And they keep it moving. And it been times I've been on the block and the ops will come walk on the block with us. You know what I'm saying? While everybody out there talking and blah blah blah, the ops will walk up and get to popping their shit. Yeah, y'all niggas know what's up. Woo, woo. West Warren chased them niggas off the block, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? What happened after that, Mr. Rollup? That sound like some bitch shit. What type of time is that? Nah, man, this was real gang banging. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that when it's broad daylight, the gangbangers knew that all the kids would be outside, the women would be outside. You know what I'm saying? Back then with gangbanging, you didn't play that. You didn't get the women or the kids involved in whatever we had going on. So when the ops ride down the block and they see the kids out there playing and having fun, they see the women sitting on the porch laughing and giggling, braiding hair and shit like that. They see the kids on the street with the stand-up rim out there. They all out there hooping and shooting around and things like that. When the ops would see that on your block, they didn't pull up firing shots and all of that shit. They just let it be known. Yeah. Oh, okay. We got y'all. We hollered at y'all tonight. You know what I'm saying? By the time nightfall hit, all of the gunfire or fighting, whatever that had to be done, happened at night. It didn't happen during the day when the kids and the women was outside because gangbanging didn't have nothing to do with them. You know what I'm saying? This is the death of gangbanging. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Like I said, I done seen plenty of times the ops would come right down the block, pointing at niggas, nodding heads, making eye contact, letting it be known, yeah, we know where y'all be at, we know where y'all gonna be at, and we on it. You know what I'm saying? Never got the kids or the women involved and what was going on. That was real game banging. See, let me tell you another thing, right? About being a GD. I'm not gonna give y'all our rules and laws and none of that. Again, I don't bang no more. I am a civilian now, but I came from that area. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna put it like this, right? Back when that's what it was, you know what I'm saying? The thing that we did, right, was this right here. We had a number one rule. That number one rule was called silence and secrecy. That is the first rule of being a gangster disciple, growth and development, GD. We got plenty of other laws and rules as well, but I'm not gonna give you none of that because the number one rule is silence and secrecy, which I shouldn't even be telling y'all that anyway. But since I'm a civilian, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? How about that? With silence and secrecy, that means that we move at a certain time. We do things a certain way. We don't just do things when we want to. You know what I'm saying? It's called silence and secrecy, meaning that should nobody know what you did. Basically, if you got into a fight with somebody, should nobody know about it but you and your homies. If you got to go shoot at the ops, should nobody know about it but you and your homies. If you had to kill somebody, should nobody know about it but you and your homies. You know what I'm saying? That's what silence and secrecy is. Don't nobody know but you and yours. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that's repping GDs, BDs, anything like that, if y'all repping it and you on the internet running your mouth, you ain't that because you automatically broke the first rule, silence and secrecy. You know what I'm saying? And we don't play like that. We don't play like that. You feel me? So this is what I mean by the end of gang banging. Because these new wave guys, they do not respect gang banging. They don't respect where it came from. They don't even know where it came from. You know what I'm saying? So again, anyway, with that being said, right, back then the way how gang banging was handled, they'll wait till the lights cut off. Meaning when it get dark. When the kids go in the house, when the women go in the house. That's when the gangsters came out. That's when gangster time started. That's when shit got real. Overnight. And by the next morning, somebody be dead or somebody knocked out and somebody grazed. It's a story to tell. You know what I'm saying? Because we protected our community. That's what gang banging was. Now, now that I gave y'all all of that, you know what I'm saying? Now let's go ahead and stop. Damn, I said stop. Let's go ahead and step into the new age of gang banging. So let's jump back in the time capsule again. Now we're gonna fast forward the tape. We're gonna fast forward the tape to I say around like 2010. So we went from 94, 95, 2010, right? So that was over a course of what, 15 years. That's what I've been seeing for 15 years straight. That's what I grew up on. You know what I'm saying? Now here it is around 2010 times. You know, I'm grown. Me and my crew, we done did our thing. We didn't live our laws. We didn't went through all of that, right? Now our generation is coming and going. So now you got the youngins coming up. The end of gang banging. The death of gang banging. You know what I'm saying? How about that? Nah, the 2010s and up. All these new wave guys. Mr. Roller, why you and your crew, y'all guys, why y'all didn't enforce the same things that was enforced on y'all? Why y'all didn't enforce that on these new guys, the young guys, right? Let me tell you why. These young guys, they don't listen to us. They don't care about what we got to say. They don't fuck with it. They don't give a fuck. Even though they know we the original gangsters. They know we done did our work. They know already. They don't give a fuck. You know why? I'm about to go ahead and keep it all the way banned with you. It was all because of the drug epidemic. You know what I'm saying? What you mean by that, Mr. Roller? Meaning that when the drugs hit, it split up a lot of family households. You know what I'm saying? Because the men wanted to deal drugs and a lot of women got hooked on drugs. That's where the crack babies came from. You know what I'm saying? So it broke up a lot of homes around that time. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, all of the guys that came after that, they wasn't trying to listen or hear nothing that me and my generation had to say, or my generation that's older than us. They didn't want to hear nothing we had to say. They had their own mind and motion of things and how they felt, how shit go. You know how many times I done told these youngins, y'all niggas going about this shit wrong. This not how it go. And they'll look at me and be like, man, big bro, we doing how we do it. Woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't come at me aggressive or nothing like that, but they'll let it be known that they don't give a fuck what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So it just came to a point where, like, me and my generation, we just said fuck them young niggas because they don't want to hear nothing that we talking about. They feel like what they seen out of us was the type of shit that we was doing is not aligning with what we telling them. But basically, it's because we grew up out that shit. So we trying to tell them, hey, before y'all get into this, get out of it. They felt like we trying to talk them out of some real shit. So they ain't trying to hear what we got to say. So they gonna do what they do. And this is exactly why the new wave gangbangers is lost. Because they don't want to hear nothing that the OGs is trying to tell them. And this is why gangbanging is dead. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes with gangbanging, it comes structure. Structure comes from your OGs that teach you how this shit go. Gang banging is way deeper than just claiming a gang or standing on a block. It's way deeper than that. What you mean by that? Go back to the beginning of this motherfucking live. I broke all that shit down. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like these new wave kids that's coming up, they don't know nothing about that. They didn't grow up in that era. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand how gang banging started. They don't understand gang bang structure. They don't even know laws. Do you know when you gang bang is laws to this shit? It ain't no you just claim a gang and you just throw up a set and all of that, drop shit and throw up shit. What? No. Every gang sign that you see, you need to understand what it means and you need to know why you throwing it up or throwing it down. Pay attention to a lot of these new wave gangbangers. You know what? I'm gonna use a prime example for the gangbangers that claim EBK. We just gonna use that. What is EBK, Mr. Roll Up? Everybody killer. That's some new wave shit. Meaning that whatever gang it is, they against everybody. That's not gang banging. You know what I'm saying? It's called gang banging for a reason. That means that everybody is together. We all bang together. We all hang together. We all do that together. So for everybody that's claiming EBK, y'all for sure not no real gang bangers. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not what gang banging is. Gang banging is togetherness, growth and development. Y'all saying EBK, that means that you against everybody. That's not gang banging. You know what I'm saying? I get where y'all coming from. That's not gang banging. You know what I'm saying? How about that? How about that? And anybody that got a problem with what I'm saying and shit like that, look, I ain't here to beef with nobody or none of that. But I'm just letting you know, you false flag. You ain't about that. You know what I'm saying? Your ass a goofy. And 9 times out of 10, if you EBK, that means that you came from that broken household. You know what I'm saying? That crack epidemic household. You might not been a crack baby, but you came from that epidemic where families was broken up, meaning that the men of the house wasn't men of the house. Your daddy was out in the streets. He probably got killed or shot. Damn, it's the poet. He probably got killed or went to jail. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't get that structure out of him. What did I say in the beginning of this? My daddy was a gangster. My daddy raised me in this. So I was raised by a father. So I could speak on that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these new wave gang bangers, they grew up in a single parent household. 9 times out of 10, it was with their mama. So they carry on their mother's emotions. All they know is their mother hollering, screaming, mad about everything. You know what I'm saying? That's what they know. They didn't come from a man. See, men, we react completely different from women. So just say to the women, if you talk to a man that come from, what can you say, a single parent household that grew up with his mama, things like that, compare him to a man that grew up in a household with his dad. And not just a daddy that's just there to get some pussy and pay some bills. I'm talking about a daddy that's a real fucking daddy that really got on that edge. You know what I'm saying? How about that? You compare that man that really didn't have a father to a man that did have that kind of father. Two big differences. Completely big differences. You know what I'm saying? And this is exactly why the death of gangbanging came to an end. Because of the drug epidemic. Now, it didn't happen right then at the 80s and 90s. It carried on. It, I mean, it did happen at that time, but it carried on over into the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s, and it's still going on now to this day. You know what I'm saying? Even if your mama not no crack addict or anything like that, she came from that genre. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I said that word right, but y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? They came from that era and it carried on. It disintegrates. It keeps going. You know what I'm saying? It keeps breaking down. And this is exactly why this is the end of gang banging. It all came to an end because of the drugs. The drugs split up everything. It fucked up everything. So now you got a bunch of YNs out here claiming gangs and sets and all of this shit, and they don't even know what the fuck they claiming because they big homies died in the field or went to jail forever, things like that. So all they know is that yeah, my homies in them claim this block, my homies in them claim this shit. So this is what I am. But they don't know what the fuck they claim. They just claiming shit because that's just what they know of or where they came from. But they don't know nothing about what they're claiming. This is the end of gang banging. These new bangers, they don't know where they came from. They just claiming shit. And guess what they doing nowadays? Like I said, back then, the ops will ride up the block and they'll see you out there and they'll say, yeah, we'll get with you tonight. We'll holler at you later on. We'll catch you at another time. Nowadays, the ops ride up the block. They see all the kids outside. They see the women outside. And they catch you and your crew. They gonna shoot everybody. It's not real gang banging, dog. And like I said, that comes from a broken home. Because if you grew up in a home like that, where your daddy was on your ass and taught you better than that, you wouldn't do that. You would have that kind of respect. Like, nah, it's kids out here. It's women out here. You ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna have to kill his dog later. It's just what it is. He in the hood. We know what block he be on. We know who he hang with. We know what he do. We'll catch him later. Nah, mm-mm. That's not what this new wave doing. As soon as they see you, they gonna kill you. And that's another thing about the difference between back in the day to today's world. We didn't do all that shooting and killing each other. We just fought. It was fighting. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. And basically, just say like you bring your hood, I bring my hood. Just say if it's 10 of us and it's 10 of y'all, and we all get the bang, right? If my crew get the better half of your crew, then we the more dominant crew. And then we'll move on to the next hood. That's how gang banging happened back in my time. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't shooting and killing each other. We didn't have that passion of hate for each other. That's all it is. It's a passion of hate. And where this passion of hate comes from? It comes from the household that you grew up in. Meaning, 9 times out of 10, all of these guys that got this passion of hate that just want to shoot and kill everybody, 9 times out of 10, just look at them type of guys. I can guarantee you, out of 10 of them, 9 of them grew up in a single parent household with a mother that always was hollering, shouting, and fighting. They didn't come up with a stoic father, a nonchalant man in their life. They didn't come up like that. Because if they did, they'd be more so like me. You know what I'm saying? Where I have that respect for my ops, if that's the case. And I didn't did videos about my ops, how I didn't ran up on them, how I didn't caught them here, there, did this and that, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just speaking. I got recordings of what I'm talking about. This ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, man, but gang banging came to an end. So it's a wrap on that shit. You know what I'm saying? So again, to the new wave gang bangers that think they out here doing something and shit like that, y'all niggas some goofies. If that shit watered down, it is over with. And on top of that, the technology then turned up 10 times since then. See, when we was younger, we didn't even really have cameras and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, man, I ain't even about to go into all of that. But y'all know how serious this shit is nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how technology is. Y'all know how technology is nowadays. You know what I'm saying? You can't do half of the shit that we did back in the day that we got away with. Y'all can't do that nowadays. Not only that, let me throw this in here before I end this shit, right? Let me go back to what I said about the number one rule about being a GD. Silence and secrecy, right? Back in our time, we didn't tell nothing. Like I said, only thing that was said was in between the crew. Nowadays, these new wave gang bangers, they got to put everything on the internet. Yeah, we didn't have internet back then, but we were still silence and secrecy. People in our neighborhood didn't even know what we was doing, let alone the World Wide Web. People in our neighborhood didn't even know what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? And then later on, like in the mid 2000s, when they started making cell phones with cameras and recorders and the internet, like the 930s, the 870s, and shit like that. When we started getting that type of shit, we started getting a hold of access to the internet and recordings and things like that. Back then, we can only record like 30 seconds. Now you can record for hours. You know what I'm saying? Back then, we get like a 30-second recording. And within that 30-second recording, if a motherfucker get to recording us, no, don't put me on camera. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't have a lot of pictures from back in the day. I got some pictures from back in the day when we was young on the block doing what we was doing. I don't have a lot. Like a lot of these other motherfuckers do. A lot of these motherfuckers, they got a whole lot of pictures back in the day. You know what I'm saying? We didn't do that. Silence and secrecy. You know what I'm saying? When we seen the camera come around us, nah, we gangsters. Don't put us on camera. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what we did. No, no, get that camera away from us. We really in the field. You know what I'm saying? No, don't put that camera on me. I don't want the police seeing me on camera. You know what I'm saying? Because I just ran from the hood yesterday. You feel me? What the fuck I look like being on camera right now? And they know who I am and they looking for me. You feel me? That was silence and secrecy, man. Today's world, they going live. Just like how I'm going live with y'all right now, they going live right now. Yeah, I just killed dog around the corner. Him and his boys, fuck them niggas. Them niggas ops. Them niggas ain't shit. Woo. We about to go back through there tonight. Blah blah blah. Stay tuned. Y'all ain't that, bro. Y'all ain't that. Y'all broke the first rule: silence and secrecy. Again, I'm not under the five, but I can guarantee you that is one of the five's laws: silence and secrecy. Why you say that, Mr. Rolla? Because we all under the same shit. We might be under different numbers, different sets, different gangs, different uh gang bang letters and all of that. We might be under different shit, but we all represent the same laws and rules at the end of the day. We might claim different colors, we might hang on different blocks, we might mix and mingle with different people. But at the end of the day, we all have the same rules. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, unity, power. It's like we all represent the same exact thing. We just have different aspects of how we look at this shit. You know what I'm saying? Zach Esther, what's the deal? Tap in, tap the fuck in. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean about the death of gangbanging. Gangbanging is over with. It been over with. I say gangbanging ended about 2005, 2006. Real talk. So that means gangbanging been over with for the past 20 years. So everybody that y'all watching on camera that's doing all of that and all of this and blah blah blah, all of that type of shit, them niggas is goofies, man. Because real gangbangers don't do that on the net. Again, I could do this because I'm a civilian now. You know what I'm saying? If I was in banging time, I wouldn't have no YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? The fuck? Look. Oh shit, got the whole damn white people out here. Yeah. How about that? How about that? Anyway, I just wanted to show you the bike crew because they was out here riding. You know what I'm saying? It was about 30 of them. I just y'all might only seen about 5 of them. You know what I'm saying? But it was a whole lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, like I said, let me wrap this shit up. The gang banging shit is over with, and it been over with. These people they don't respect real gang banging. You know what I'm saying? They think that they could do whatever they want with this shit, and they don't understand where it came from. You know what I'm saying? So again, this is the end of gang banging. All you niggas that's on that shit right now, y'all water down. Y'all ain't there. That's just the truth of it. You know what I'm saying? And if you got a problem with me, jump in my inbox or whatever, dog. And we could do that. We could be on it. I ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? But we can go there. We could talk about it. We could do whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all niggas ain't that. Y'all put everything on the internet. And guess what? That ain't what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's been another live stream of Roll Up the Poet. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.